Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to give this workshop related to the transforming research into resonance. Okay, we'll discuss some strategies of impactful academic writing, little bit about the writing, little bit about the presentation, and at the end, I'll go through this branding process. What is a brand? Throughout my presentation, I'll still discuss some abstract or how to write few things, but our main focus is once you've done the research, once you about to publish or just publish or submit the paper, what few things we need to do in these days and today's world, what we need to do to go beyond the publication so that our research is really makes sense, really matters for us, and really we can get a benefit out of it. So you can see this is my slide. I hope all of you know, but just to go through it, in 2010, I did the PhD from Manchester. Before that, I was doing MPhil. Before that, I was just like a student, mechanical engineering student. I have a 3-year experience of industrial experience and in automotive industry, and 14 years of altogether experience in teaching and research. I worked also as a research fellow in 2015 and 16 at Swinburne University, Australia, and currently I'm a professor in mechanical engineering department, Faculty of Engineering at Islamic University, Medina. Okay, you just want to jump into it. I divide the whole presentation, this workshop into 4 parts. Okay, we'll go one by one. We'll do the part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4, and then. So in part 1, we looked at the research to resonance. Resonance is the word which is used for frequency enhancement or something when you have a natural frequency, any mode of natural frequency close to it, then you get like a extremely high resonance, extremely high frequency. So part 2, we'll see how we can go beyond the impact of just simple publication. Okay, it would be very interesting, I believe. Then we'll go to the part 2, which is about writing with the purpose. We'll try to see clear, engaging, and very persuasive sort of text that we can write it and we can use it as well. And then we'll look at some of the presentation skills. We discussed this thing a few times, but I'll just go through the crux of it. And at the end, we'll go to the personal research branding, how we are going to do this personal research branding. All right, 4 parts. Let's start with without wasting any time, let's go to the part 1. So the part 1 is about resonance and understanding beyond publication. So turning into discovery that moves the world. We need to find out how we really can create an impact. Sometimes we think that this small amount of work or research I'm doing may not have a huge impact, but every single thing has its own impact, and you can increase the impact by putting some efforts. Okay, in this part, in this session, what we are going to do now is we look at understand that makes the impact really beyond citation, because one of the criteria of impact is just to see how many times it's cited. Cited means that if we wrote some publication, then somebody else is used as a reference, so that's a citation. If more and more citation, it automatically means that more and more people buying your argument, or they think that your work is, unless otherwise they are very critically saying something about it. We look at the distinguish between academic and social impact or societal impacts. So what will happen in academic is just in the academic world, many things are in academic world may not properly translate to something in the real world problem. But we'll see that even any sort of work we'll do, how we can have a social impact on it. And then we identify some pathways, we'll try to do it. Okay, why does it really matter? Go beyond this, why this impact is really matter for us. 25% of the published papers are cited more than once. It means that people are really looking at it. So, which is a huge number in my opinion. So other way around means that many papers, like maybe the 75% were cited less than 2 or maybe never cited. 80% higher visibility of research shared by social media. So now the world has changed a little bit, and the information, we put it on a specific journal or a specific thing, which is a very difficult process of publishing over there. Because you write the paper, you submit to the journal, the editor thinks it's good enough, then it sends to the review process. The review people are expert. They review it, that they say change this thing. So it's a very long process of publication. But when you publish this thing, there are thousands and thousands papers are published each day. New knowledge is generated and added into the whole set of knowledge we have as human. So if you share it on social media, the chances of it that other people will see it will increase tremendously. Okay, like 80% is a higher chance that it can go. It's created by this L-metric. This is also one of the citation things. They look at the impact of any paper, not only the citation, but on social media, like it goes on X or LinkedIn or Facebook. So it goes through the whole social media and find out that, because more and more journal people, because in engineering and science and research, usually we write it for the particular or specific audience. But if those results are going to impact the other people, normal audience, normal journal people, then why don't they get benefit out of it? But to get them to that information, we need to have that information in such a way that they can understand it, they can read it, they can view the video, they can watch some or read some paragraph, but able to understand it. So by sharing it, we can do this thing. 35% potential boost from the public engagement. So what we usually do is we go for the funding for different projects. So maybe your supervisor or someone is going to apply for funding. There are many fundings available. But do you have that profile in that particular area in which you are applying for funding? Sometimes you have it, but it's under the very complex process of papers. Some of the papers can be in open access, so everybody can see it, and some may not be in the open access. So they can still see your name and this, but they cannot see really what your profile is. So you need to build on with the time, you need to build your profile. So if you have that sort of profile, which is available for the funding company or someone else, then it's much easier for them to select you for the funding. So how visible is your research right now? This is the question, that how much the research profile we have is visible to the journal audience. Okay, when we say this research resonance, what does it mean by? We mean the different types of it. You can say academic impact. So of course it's citation, it's peer recognition, that how somebody else, how your colleagues and academic see you as an expert in this area or in particular area. And there are many examples, but one of the main example is journal publication. There can be other examples like conference participation and things like that. What is societal impact? So you impact on the industry, you impact on policy making, you impact on community change to do something else. So it sounds like how as an individual I can change the industry. We can do it by many ways. Some processes, if you shorten those processes, if you increase the efficiency of that process, people will get it, buy it, and use it. But it's very important that these research, which is under the domain of the academics, should go to the industry as well. So there is more and more there so that they can also able to see it. So how we can do it? New article, collaborations. In that way, we can work out on this. And at the end, the least, but the most important, is the personal impact. How we can personally grow ourselves as in a particular area. Okay, so when you work on it, you have to have some information, something which is evident that you have done this thing, and you can build on it with gradually. So it's basically a career growth. It's basically the reputation, how you build the reputation around yourself. Many things happen, many wonders happen in the lab, but they never, even your own faculty or your own department would never know this thing. Unless you're going to tell them, unless you're going to inform them. Everything cannot be go into the journal publication, because journal publication is selectively for new knowledge. But there are many other aspects that you can share it, which will help you in the growth. So you can, if you do this thing, understand this thing as a personal reputation, personal growth, you can get an example of the leadership role. You can move on from just doing it to the leadership role to the innovation of this. So the true resonance happens when your finding influence both science and society. So if it is only science, yeah, it is. There maybe somebody will take it up later on. But at the same time, if you're doing something and it will help the society to understand simple things, it would be a great thing. Okay, the research impact spectrum is very big. Something is like discovery. Maybe the work we do as engineers, the chances of discovery is low, not zero, but low. So we can bring completely new set of knowledge, completely new domain of science, completely new domain of engineering or something like this. Or even a small efficiency increase, even a small improvement in the existing system is also give you something which will help you to establish yourself in that particular area. So when you have that new thing, you straightforwardly go in for publication and things like that. But once you get it published, either it's conference paper or journal paper or something, you need to communicate. How to communicate? You need this communication skills is very important. Don't leave it on this. For example, if I just give you the example of the class and teacher, if I send a 1-minute video to my student, before 2 days and after 2 days during the class, if I ask, only 20% of the student will watch that video, even if it is only 1 minute. Okay, so I need to communicate, not only just share them, I need to communicate with them. I have to tell them, please watch it so that you can learn something out of it, and then we can have a discussion on it later on. So you need to, just sharing a link, just sharing something won't able this in the current world we call eyeballs. You cannot get the eyeball unless you further communicate with them. And then you go for the application and like industry, technology, or policy adoption. I'll talk about the policy later on, and then we'll look at the change, how the things are changing it. So your role, make sure research does not stop at publication. We are talking about something which is published, and beyond the publication, how the things should go in this today's world where we have TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. So how these things can still go on and give you some additional set of information. All right, so how to create this impact? You need to have some social accounts. Most of these accounts are free, unless you want to do something special into it. Otherwise, they are free. So what is more important is you should have your own profile, and you follow those academic channels. For example, conference, journal, research articles. It's very difficult now because you can search everything. You think all the journals are same. No, they have a different reputation, different readership, and different prestige in particular area. So you need to follow some of it. You can follow any academic channel. Over here we have the Saudi Digital Library. You can find many papers from there. You can access it. Then we have professional channel. So all these channels which are professionally based, for example, LinkedIn, ResearchGate, Google Profile, ORCID. Okay, so I was trying to make some quick QR code to just scan everyone and see who has these things, but we can do it like a show of hand. How many of you have a LinkedIn account? Oh my God. All right, how many of you have a ResearchGate account? Just 2, all right. ORCID is once you have publication, then it is more important, but I would recommend you to get the ORCID, which is universally accessible. So once you have it, your number will be very early. So the people who can think, oh, he's doing, his account is like so old. Once you do, after a few years, do something like that. You don't need to be a doctor or somebody specialized to publish. You can still, if that work, if your literature review is strong and you think there is something new, you can publish. How many of you have, all right, okay. I'll show it in the next slide. So these are the professional channels. Like LinkedIn, my recommendation to all of you, you should have a LinkedIn account. It is critical. You should post one every week. You should interact with the people to do this thing. Okay, there are many jobs, because there are between the companies and the labor force or the workforce, there are some middle companies which are consultant companies. The consultant companies do not have enough time to post the job and then get the CVs and then process them. So whenever there is a job, so maybe there is a job in the Dammam and there is a company in India hiring those people, but they don't have a time and they don't want to invest money in marketing the job in the Dammam and tell after 2 months we need. What they do, they get the job information, keywords of it, expertise level, and they just quickly go into the LinkedIn. There are many other websites as well, but LinkedIn was one of the more famous. And they get the profile of all these people and they send the message, are you interested? There is a job, are you interested? And if you respond, they will call you for the interview. And so many people got the job from LinkedIn. There's one guy here, he got the job here through LinkedIn. So it's really very important. It's not just like a story of this. But how, once they search these keywords, how your name will come up, that's algorithms are very killing. They only prefer people who are more active on their platform, so they give their reward by putting their name on the top. Otherwise, you probably be there, but on 400 number. Okay, so you probably won't have this guy will take a top 50 and just call 5 people from those top 50 and interview them. And then we have public channels. So these are like more related to the consultant company, jobs, and these, and then the public channels are. So you all are on the public channel. How many of you have a Facebook account? Snapchat? Oh, you don't have a Snapchat? Interesting. All right, so you have an account, Facebook, Instagram, even you can see in WhatsApp, which is basically a messaging software. But later on, they keep on doing this thing. You can put the status for 24 hours. You can make channels. You can do things. So why they are modifying it so much? Because this is how where the every information data flows, and they want to have a control on it. Okay, so you must have, if you do something related to the course project, senior design project, any other project, if you give a presentation in any of your course, you should make a few lines information about it, use the good keywords, post it over there on the LinkedIn. So even maybe after 6 years, you forget it, but you can go back in the LinkedIn and you can see, oh yeah, your 1 or 2 pictures are there, information is there, and maybe some of your colleagues or your teacher or your professor comments something on it and things like that. Also in the LinkedIn, you can get a review from someone. You can ask somebody to give me a review. That review will be a part of your profile. So when somebody see it and they say, oh, this guy gave a review to this guy, so maybe he knows it. And the guy who gave the review may be his friend. So you immediately say, oh, what do you think about can we hire him? Because they do this referencing a lot after this shortlisting people. So you need to identify your audience lives and how they engage. So academic channel, professional channels, and then we have the public channel. You can fill all of them here and there. Okay, this is one of my link tree. So what the link tree do, it can do many things, but a free account is, it put all your profile at one place. So I had this link. If you type this thing, you can get this like this. And you can have all these links. So you can see over here, I have this ORCID, Scopus author profile, Web of Science profile, Google Scholar profile, IEEE profile, ResearchGate profile, Loop Frontier profile, Sillet profile, which is for MD, PI, something, and other. And after that, there are some social media links as well. Why it is important? Each has its own audience to follow. Okay, I'm not a very like socially famous person. If I post something after 24 hours, just get 3 views. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you should not do it. You should do it because it will keep your information with the time stamp that you really do this thing. Sometimes when you apply for the scholarship, they ask you, okay, have you ever do any community work. So if you have a one post in LinkedIn that you go for a community and you are working something for blood transfusion and help the clinic, university clinic to do something, you have this community work there. All you need is to copy paste the screenshot from there, put it over there and provide the link. They will see, because they know you can edit it, but you cannot post on the time behind or in the past. So they accept your efforts as an example. So this is very good example to bring on it. Okay, so common barrier and example of the high impact communication. So as you think that as an individual we cannot have a high impact, we can make small change, of course not a very big change, unless we start from the small changes. So for example, COVID-19 open research data led rapid policy change worldwide. So all this COVID-19 data was available on some of the website. I think it created by Johns Hopkins University. They put all the data from the world and place it at one place. So it will help the government, the policy makers to make and think some decision. Plastic awareness paper. So you know, these small plastics is a big issue. Okay, it really killing the human race. They said that something like equivalent to the credit card of amount of plastic every single human consume over the year in one single year. So if you are like 25 years old, so you probably have eaten, as per that research, 25 credit cards, plastic cards. Okay, so and what it is doing, it's the biological change and many other changes. You can see this thing. So it has sparked major environmental issue. It is sparked debate. It has sparked many things that single-use plastic should not be used. So that is small research. Go to the societal impact later on with this. AI in health research attracts significant startup investment. That's how we can do it. There are many AI softwares. They can see the X-rays and identify if the patient has cancer or not. And their accuracy was initially started with 60% and now it reached to 98 or 97%. In some of the universities in America, they have the contest. There are 3 expert medical doctors and 1 AI. And they give like 200 X-rays to them to give them medical advice that this X-ray suggested that there is a cancer cells in it or not. No other information. So these human suggested like 90% and the AI suggested 98% accurate results. So this is how you can see. When we are talking about the example of the high impact communication, so this is one of the master theses in our university, in this very room. So this was toward the sustainable public transportation model for Medina region, and this was a Dr. Professor Adil Abdul Noor's project, and they worked on really how to bring the society, how to change the society through their work. So this is the existing map, current network of the buses, okay, and this is their current financial model. You can see in certain days like Ramadan and this, too many people use it, otherwise nobody uses it. So you can see the spikes over there after every 11 months or things like that. They modify it, they suggested the solution, they do the cost analysis, like maintenance of each bus, the cost of each driver, the cost of each bus, capital costs, maintenance costs, recurring costs, and then they combined this and they suggested some other routes. These are the new routes they suggested, and they said that from here the values are up to like 33.5 million or something. It will go to something like that. So this will give a very interesting research at how you can give it back to the society, yet doing your own work. So you can perform this thing. If I'm this student, I would make videos on it, and part by part, chapter by chapter, put it on the social media and things like that. All right, so what are the common barriers to the research impact? Technical language, blocking, understanding. So when we put something as engineers or something, we use very technical words. Okay, these technical words are understandable in our fraternity or community. But if somebody is in the general public, they probably won't be able to understand this thing. So we need to see what is our audience. Okay, that's why we have different channels. Okay, we do the journal publication for a specific audience, experts of that area or people in that specific area. We go to the other channel. If it is the public channel, we modify this. So we need to use this sort of language which can be easily understandable. Lack of accessible summaries or visual content. We need to create a very good summary. Okay, you can create it through AI or you can do it by yourself, but make sure that it's very easy and understandable. Minimal social presence. So, for example, if I put something today and after 6 months, gone. So all these algorithms, they don't like it. These algorithms behind these channels, they don't like it. They are like a monster, and you have to feed them every other day, or at least once a week. So then you put it, and then suddenly you see it goes down, and so you need to be, may not necessarily be, if you don't have anything, just put something over there, but you should be or have your digital footprint, and that digital footprint is digital assets, which you can use it later on at some point in your life. Limited collaboration outside academia. So this is also very interesting. I did a course for 12 days for social media, like not really social media, they are social people who generate the data and make decisions based on the data. He said in one of American university, after having different phases, the 2 people were finally selected to become the vice chancellor of the university. So the head of this statistical department, they gave us this job, and they analyzed their social interaction. They use the platform X for that. They say guy A was communicating with high-profile people like Nobel laureates and this and that, but they all are in academia. The guy B was communicating with high-profile people, plus senators and government people and some people outside America as well. So based on this analysis, they selected guy B. So you can see when it comes to the very competition, so even a small edge you have, you can encash it. So they think that the vice chancellor post is good enough so that he knows people, so he can bring some funding and more, compared to this guy who was equally better, but only limited to certain domain, you can say. So it's very important that you go beyond academia, you go beyond this thing. You should have interact with the people around you through social media. So communicate clearly, share widely, and build as much, I can say, bridge you can. All right, so this is just a mental exercise. I'll give you a small printout as well. So for example, how the impact mapping can be done quickly. Like, let's say I have some research. It may publish, it may not publish. It is just in the report or something. So write your current title, just title on which you are working. Either it's a course project, your master thesis, or whatever it is. Identify who benefit from it: academia, industry, public, or you can imagine something as well. And draw your pathway map. You can do it very easily. So the example is over here as well. You can see this example. That, let's say, biodegradable plastics. Okay, so you can see who is the industry, how we can redesign the product, less waste, cleaner cities. One of the master thesis we suggested, but that the student did not complete it. was that, in Haram, they use the white plastic glass. It used once and then they throw it. It's a huge plastic waste. So we suggested that if we can have a mechanism in which it go through the UV light or something which kills all the bacteria and viruses, then it can be reused. Okay, so it can save much of the money as well as environment. Okay, so I'll give you this this small printout. Can you take one? And then I'll just give you like few minutes, not more than that, to fill out on it. You think, what is your title? Okay, just fill that title, and then let's see. Okay. Yeah, keep it there. Yeah, for this particular point, policy, I just give you one example of this bus. Okay, so the policy is like how the things should govern. Okay, so we can ask the local government, we can ask our local to change different policies based on the information, based on some suggestions. So you can see it yourself. You can write a title. If you think that you cannot work on anything related to the policy, you can leave that part. But once you fill it, then you realize this is also very important when you select your senior design project or master's thesis or PhD thesis. You need to do some little bit mapping as well. Will it going to affect something on the industry? Will it going to affect something on the society, academia, something related to it or not? That will also give you some sense of achievement once you complete your work. Okay, so it's very good to find out this sort of map. All right, the last minute, and then we'll move on. All right, so if you fill it, it's okay. If you're not, then just keep that paper with you and you can fill it later on, and you can have a introspective view about yourself and see how it will also help you to select some topics in future as well. Okay, so we'll move on. We're about to finish this, let's say this part one. So what is impact? When the research inform, inspire, and initiate change. Okay, some change is bring into it. Okay, visibility and clarity is very, very important as originality. Okay, don't copy paste your friend status and just put it over there and do this thing. You need to be original, you need to be creative, you need to be innovative, but at this Yeah, you can use this, how this chat GPT. Just 1 hour before this seminar, there was an AI related seminar about the policy and all these things. And they discussed that they think we should use the chat GPT, we should use AI, generative AI. But at the end, your judgment. At the end, you need to read it. I see many status on LinkedIn posted by some very reputable professors, and 1 or 2 lines are wrong because they just copy paste from the some AI and put it over there. So don't do this thing. Help it out and use it very cleverly. At the end, if something is wrong, some wrong information or something which is not 100% right, not the generative AI is responsible because you posted, so you are responsible. Okay, and if somebody is ranking people for job or anything, you are going to lose so many points and you go down in the rank. Research are both discoveries and communicators, so make sure that researchers are just not, as a scientist, we are just not just go get our head down and do this thing. We need to tell the world that this is how it works, the mechanism of something, the results of something, the discussion on something. It's very important. So transform your finding into resonance that lasts beyond journals. This is very critically important nowadays. All right, any question? I can take the questions now for part one.
Sometimes the research result is quite not good to publish as you will relate to the public for your save your part of this like patent your research as your own. So what is your advice like?
Okay, for example, if you're going for patent, don't release any information before the date of patent filing, either in social media or paper or something. No, because they will think that it's already in the public domain, now you cannot patent it. So something which is a patentable information, don't throw it. So the day you file it, like for example, today is like 12th of November. So you file it today and tomorrow you can publish this thing. So if something is really that important, you need to keep it secret for some time, unless the patent is filed. But other than that, if you're working on something and you don't have something which can be published in journal or conference, but you have a part of it which is very good. So you can use some channels, maybe a LinkedIn, maybe YouTube, maybe Instagram, or maybe all of them to tell how to do this thing. For example, just I'll give you one example. When I was doing my PhD, my experiments was laser based, but the laser was in UV range, so we cannot see it. So even if we have to wear some glasses, we cannot see it. I was working on continuous laser, so theoretically we should be able to see it, but those glasses are just to protect the eyes and no reflection should come to you. So there was a big issue of focusing that laser. So I come up with an idea. I put you see this thumb pin? I put the thumb pin upside down. Okay, we are using high-speed cameras. The high-speed camera can take like 10 million pictures in just 1 second. They're so high speed to get the laser process. So how to focus, because you cannot see that light, you don't know where it is going. So you go in the alignment of the nozzle in the center and then put the pin upside down. Then you focus the camera, because its focal depth is very small of the high speed. You focus on the top of the pin and then remove the pin. Then what you get, the pictures are odd. So when I presented locally in my group, everybody was shocked because that camera was on lease for a few months only. And everybody was trying to get their videos and pictures and all these things. But they said, we spent like many days, but nothing is focused. How your all images are focused? So I told them that this process. So this small thing, help the community, the local community, you can say, or the group, you can say, and we can share this sort of information. So you can release the part of it. And this information was, when we published the paper, this information was nowhere in the paper. Because nobody cares how you focus it. They just want to see what is the laser process going on over there. So yes, you can release part of it and discuss it with somebody who's supervising or advising your project. They will let you know what part of information should be released, should be withheld, and good for public domain, not good for public domain, should go in for journals, or if you have done something, should go for the patent. Okay, any other question? All right. Let's move to the part 2. Yeah, it's a long workshop, so you need to be. Okay, this one is writing with purpose, crafting clear, engaging, and persuasive sort of academic writing. Because powerful research deserves powerful word. When we say powerful word, it doesn't mean very complex English word, just a normal words which we can do this. All right, so we'll see write clearly and for both expert and journal audience, because we have different channels. Whenever we write or give the presentation, the first thing is you need to look at your audience, to whom you are writing. If they are expert in that area, then you probably can use the technical words. If they are not expert in that area, you should avoid technical words. The structure of the research paper, which is very commonly available for maximum impact: simplify complex ideas without losing scientific accuracy. So the power of clear writing. Generally, people spend 2 to 3 minutes on abstract. So you only have 2 to 3 minutes. So your abstract can be 300 words. So make sure that you force them. If somebody is doing master thesis literature review or PhD thesis literature review, or somebody's writing, you need to make sure that within 2 minutes time, they should be able to reach a point where they cite your work, the citation, which is impact. They should use they read the whole of your paper. It's just like in social media, they call it hook. You know, hook. So some of the images started with somebody's going and suddenly fall down, and they say, oh, the prices are fall down, and so this is called hook. So in scientific writing, also in abstract, especially because abstract can go in public domain, you need to be very, very careful in selecting clear message. Okay, 2.3 times more likely to accept it for manuscript with clear structure. So Elsevier is one of the leading publishers, and they suggested that if your structure is very clear, the chances of accepting the paper, chances of publishing the paper will increase a lot. Many students' papers struggle to publish because of one of this problem. They have very good results, they have originality, they have innovation, but the paper is not writing properly. And the advisor suggested something improvement, but you are not doing really improvement, and at the end of the day, it falls into some category where it cannot be accepted for the journal publication. 60% improvement in understanding of plain language summaries. So you see, we had this graphic abstract workshop a few months back, in which we discussed these things. So you need to summarize it. In some journals, they want highlights, 1 or 2 sentences or 4 sentences, which highlights, which tell us, summarize what is all this paper is about. So if you do this thing, if you learn how to write those things, which are small yet very effective, then you will be able to get like more. I believe the people will like it, the people will read it and probably cite it, use it. That's all the impact is. It's just not published and nobody going to read it. Okay, so all the research papers are like this. In fact, theses are also, technical reports are close to it. The papers are like this. So they have a very clear introduction, okay, very clear method, very clear results, discussion, and conclusion at the end, of course. So you need to make sure that you need to know how to write introduction, define the problem properly, what is the aim of this paper, what is the aim of this work, this research, methods, how the problem was solved, how the results are found, how the results are calculated, and nothing, and discussion and conclusion. If nothing is present in the result, don't conclude it. Okay. I review papers and our own papers are being rejected just based on this thing. Sometimes we write just one in the whole paper of 5,000, 6,000 words, one line in the conclusion, and there are no results of it. And they say, oh, conclusion doesn't support this. And some people are very harsh on it. And also I see, because you conclude something based on the results you presented, not something outside it. When you're doing experiments, when you're doing simulation, when you're doing some calculations, you feel many observations, but that observation do not have a supporting evidence. So that observation is for you only. And you can go and make a video of it, but you cannot publish it. So crafting the impactful abstract is also important, because abstract is remain, there are certain papers which you cannot access and certain papers which are in public domain, open access they are called. But in both cases, the most important thing is abstract and the title and the keywords. So they are in the public domain all the time. So how to write this impactful abstract? One is strong background statement, like a hook, that this is why we want to, or the bigger picture of it. Clear research gap. Then what is a research gap? Concise methodology summary. Then you use this method, and that method. Then you find something key finding, and then the final impact of the result, or you can say the conclusion. And always use the active words. Okay, so this is not like a writing seminars, otherwise I can go deeper into it, but I think this much is enough to understand. Engaging the reader to hook them, not to run away just by reading. So surprising fact. Okay, so you will read many of the, especially these very high impact prestigious journals. In this world, every 2 out of 5 people have this sort of disease. And then you say, oh, 2 out of 5, maybe I'll, so you go further into it. You hook that information, okay? Or every year, the resources are going down by this amount. So if it is a renewable energy project, so you can go and quickly have a look. And some statistics, and that statistics may not be come from you, because it's already there. Your research is about something else, but you just put it over there. Real world application, explain the consequences of these applications, ask question. Okay, in engineering papers, we don't directly ask too many questions in the introduction. We create this sort of situation where we can say, imagine what will happen if there's no plastic in this world. Okay, so one of the big issue, or some other sort of thing. And why no? Just explain the timeline that the other people, that's called a literature review, that other people have done this thing, and this. Okay, clear and concise statement. Prefer short sentences. What is short sentences? Roughly like 25 words. But there is a downside of it as well. I start using it a lot, and then reviewers start saying that your statements are too fragmented and it's difficult to read. So I think it's a mix, a balanced approach would be some sentences are long, but average would be maybe you can say 25. Replace passive word with the active voice. Use transition words like therefore, however. So in technical writing, when you use these words, it means you're now concluding what you said in the last 2-3 sentences. Or you're going to make a counter statement. However, this, but, that. Avoid redundancy and filler words, something like this. Because English is not our first language, and this has happened to all of us. It was found that the results indicate, the results show that, just to the point. More words you are throwing for the reader, it's more problem at your end and less chance that you will be writing clear and concise thing. All right, so is there any tool to find out that is my writing is really clear and concise? There are tools as well. There are many, by the way, many. Here are these people who are working in language and this, they come up. So one of this is this flash reading ease and grade level. So you can see, you can find out the reading ease, which is defined in America for the American audience and people, but we can utilize it generally in the world. And then the grade level. So how we do is total number of words divided by total sentences. There are some values, they come up with this, total syllables. So what is syllable? Yes, something like this. Like cat has a 1 syllable, butter has 2 syllables, important 3 syllables. Okay? Based on this. So if you're, so based on this, you can find out. So if you're writing for journal public, so your score should be, I believe, very high so that more and more people can understand. And this is the grade level. Grade level is from 0 to 18. So you can see it over here. If it is between 6, 7, it's like a Harry Potter reading. Okay, to use the very complex words as well. But history of time or academic paper, there should be something like 15, 16, 18 value of it. How do we calculate it, man? It's a very complex formula. So if you start writing, maybe I'll do some mistakes. So we have softwares for it. There are many online softwares as well. But our favorite software, Word, can do this thing. So this is one of the text. I copied it from Nature Communication, okay? And then I copied the text, except these this information. You see the L metric and all these information are there. That L metric means how many, and you can find all other matrices about this particular article over here. Anyway, I copied the main text, go into the Word, paste it, and then you go to the review and then editor in the, I think 2016 onward Word. Once you go over there, in the review, there is something which is called Insights. You click on the insight, it will give you the message that I need some time to calculate it, and once it calculated, it will give you this value. Ease reading, 22. That means it's not very easy to read. And the grade level is 17.3 on the scale of 18. So it's very complex reading, particularly for the people of that domain of fraternity. Okay? So once you write this thing, there are many softwares which can do this thing very quickly. But if you just want to see, for example, you're posting something on Facebook. On the Facebook, there may be general population who don't know your area of expertise or technical terms. You just can have a look at it. So because it's from the Nature Communication, so you can expect this it goes over here, which is academic paper or something. Okay, so you can find out about your work as well. And as I said, this is one way of doing it. There are many other ways of doing it. Okay, and some of the AI software, they can change the tone of it. You want to be very friendly, you want to be assertive. The tone is another thing. Okay, so I hope this will give you just idea what is the difference between clear and concise writing and how much efforts you need to write. The biggest problem is students just focus on doing thing. For example, if they have to calculate, they just focus on calculating. They think that 95% is all calculations only. But the calculation is just one part of it. You need to explain those calculations as well. And when you start writing, you will think that how to do it. Okay, another way of doing this thing is very interesting, and I follow it a lot as well. I personally like it as well, is a storytelling. So in the normal storytelling, if you follow this storytelling, things will become very easy. So unless you explain something, don't jump. Unless you explain the character, don't ask it to do anything. Unless you explain the method and equipment to measure something, don't put the result. The temperature of my composite is 25 degree. How you measure the temperature? So first you need to tell, you measure the temperature with the contact method or non-contact method, thermometer or something, infrared gun or something like that. And this is how we do it. This is the method. After starting the machine for 3 minutes, then the temperature was checked and then go to this temperature. So it's like a storytelling. Every single thing should come without any ambiguity. Suddenly you say temperature is, oh, how you get this temperature? So any technical writing, you need to follow this. So present your work like a journey. Question, experiment, discovery, impact. Okay, what does this mean by the science and society? Use mini stories and discussion to do this thing, and you write like a story. So data informs and stories inspire. So do you want to inspire? If not, then it's okay. If yes, then you need to put some really more efforts into it. Okay, and make sure that there is a clarity and there is a logical flow. When we say story writing, as I said, first the character will be introduced and then it will do something. So clarity and logical flow is simple sense of information, simplify the dense information, sorry, a very dense information like do this thing, do that thing, add this, make sure that it's simplified, highlight the trend and relationships. Trends are very important in science. In science, is basically the trend is very important. How you get the trend. Maybe one or two set of experiments may not give you the good results, but the trend is very important, the trend of it. And that's why we repeat it again and again, so to see the trends. Complement, not duplicate the text. This is also one of the problems. You need to understand this duplication and plagiarism. There's another side of the story. So the figures are very important, should tell the self-contained story. So each figure you put it, either a graph or the experimental setup or the flow chart, it should have its own story complete. Not like something is left, something you put it from nowhere. All right, so we reached to the part 2, end of the part 2, writing with the purpose. And you can see it that we have a very like clear and structure build trust in your research. If you clearly write something, if you don't leave ambiguity, you will see that the people trust on your results much more than some set of information is missing. For example, we sometimes compare the results of, I'm working with Dr. Asad in biogas. Sometimes we compare the published data and somebody said suddenly high value, but they do not tell the methodology. So we have to exclude them as an outlier. We say, okay, this guy did not give the conditions, did not give the initial temperatures, how it published, we don't know, but it is published. But we cannot include it in our analysis because we have to take it out. So basically, we do not trust their results, in other words. So great writing connects data with meaning, audience-focused communication increase the citation and engagement. If you put very dense technical writing on Facebook or Snapchat, probably nobody will buy it. And if you put a very low-level, non-technical statements in your journal paper, it won't be probably published ever. So you need to decide between them. Right to inform, right to inspire, and right to impact. This is critically important. All right, any question from part 2? So that if you have any question.
The results you showed for the 22 out of 100, right? And 17 out of 18. Can I combine the two? Have a concise and clear writing with complicated words?
No, it's look. Some of the areas are really so complicated. You cannot use just the simple. You need to look at the audience. What the analysis you see is, I think it's elsewhere statistics. So they go and select it in some part of it. So I show you that statistic just to give you an idea. But it's not always very. It's not always that you never write complex words. It depends upon your audience. If your audience is particularly in that specific area, then you use those complex and technical words. But if you're going for a journal, audience, then you use it the easier ones.
So try to get more concise.
Always where it is going to put this information. Okay.
Yeah. Initially, it's like because when I read some paper, it seems like I don't understand. But intentionally, like they do like this, so people is not getting what they do, or it's normal.
No, this is where this journal rankings and impact factor of the journal it comes, and prestige of the journal. So some journals are authority in their subject. So when you go for a high publication, high impact factor, high ranking, there are Q1, Q2, Q3 journal. If you select the Q1 journal and prestigious journal, you'll see all the papers will make sense. And there's hardly any information which is missing because they go through a peer review process very strictly. Okay. But if those some of the journals, they just look at it, they don't go too much, their ranking is low, their impact factor is low, and they sometimes the reviewing process is a very it's by luck. You get a reviewer who say, oh, everything is okay, and another reviewer who say, no, everything is not okay. So I did some editorial work as well for some journals, and I get shocked. One guy saying publish as it is, other guys say reject as it is. Now what you do? so it all depends upon this. Then you have to send it to more people to get some more opinion, like third and fourth person, and then things like that. So it all depends on it. My suggestion to you, because there are thousands and thousands of the things in any area you are working in, if you don't understand some part of it or you don't trust on that paper, just leave it. Go to the next one. Don't waste time on these papers, which, as I said, in our case, when we start comparing our result with, we said, this guy, we don't know how he gets so high value or so low value, because they do not write some detailed information of methodology. So we cannot compare it with our results, and we inform it in the paper that this paper we are not considering it because this information is missing. That's it, and move on. All right, so this is very important. Writing clearly is drop all the paper, man. For the same area, you can get so many other papers as well. Okay, so just drop it, and then it also depends upon our understanding. Sometimes our own understanding is not to the level to understand what they are saying. So you read other papers, then your understanding will improve, and then come back to the same paper. That, oh, this is what he is trying to say. Or sometimes the structure is not very storytelling. They said something, and then after 2 pages they said another thing, and then you need to join them together. Oh, this is what they do this thing. That's why as an author, it's our job to make sure that all the readers should be able to understand. But as I said, audience analysis is important. Journal publication is for specific readers only. Journal papers are not for journal audience. Okay, normal audience, normal crowd. It's for specifically, particularly for that area. So even if you write it in a complex, but as long as your whole story is completed, it's good enough. Don't hide any information. But at the same time, it's not like you write 20,000 words because you don't want to hide it. You need to concise it. Whatever you have in your thesis for 20,000 words, you have to make it in 4,000 words. This is the art of writing. To remove unnecessary information. All right. Part 3, presentation research with impact, turning slides into stories. Again, the stories or storytelling is the very good keyword to understand the whole process. Because how you present is as powerful as what you present. This is also very important. How you present is also very important than what you are presenting. I see some students, they can present it very well, and some, they have done a very tremendously good job, but they are unable to explain it when it comes to the public domain or some presentation. So it's very, very important to do this. All right, so in this part, we'll look at design engaging story-driven research presentations, deliver content with confidence and clarity, use visual effects to support, not overshadow the main message or their message. So 65% of visual remember us versus 10% of the spoken words. So this is also, they said this thing, a picture speaks thousands of words. That's why the images and figures are very important. So this is, so if you see something, okay, and there are many research on this as well. They ask the group of people, they show something like for 5 seconds and then they hide it. And they ask the question, how many balls over there, how many red balls over there? And then they give the same information in the form of the text. And then say, read the text, whole text, and then ask the people to read. So they found out that visually you can remember much more. When you make your presentation, make sure some part or main part of your thesis or presentation or research work or senior design project presentation should be in the form of the picture. Okay. For example, I asked my student, they collected the data, they collected the samples from somewhere. They're like, oh, we go there and then and the name of that farmhouse. Why you need to write so much text? Nobody's going to read it. Just put your picture over there, standing and doing it. When the people see it there, then they understand you are there. Simple as that. Because the message is just to tell that you go there to collect the sample. The message can be delivered by one single picture. 3 times more engaging for the presentation. That includes stories. Okay, so if you build the story, this is the problem, we try to solve this problem. So more and more people will engage. If it is not really engaging, then the people will start playing with their mobile phones and they start just playing with their mobile phones. 70% boost in audience trust from consistent eye contact. So sometimes I give this whole presentation style. So the eye contact to the audience is very, very important. And there are so many ways of doing the eye-to-eye contact. You need to scan the whole room all the time. Just don't focus on 2-3 people, otherwise they get like nervous. Why is looking at me all the time? Things. Okay, so there is a way of doing it. Great presentation does not just inform, it connects. Okay, you need to connect. You need to throw your message to them. Don't waste your time and their time. If you just read this thing, then it's wasted their time. So anatomy of the effective presentation is hook and the problem. So you should have some hook and the problem, something which is really very catchy. What is that? I don't know, because it's your work in your project, in your presentation, you need to find out what should be the most important catchy word so that I can explain it. Okay. Sometimes it's better to start with the question, but don't force the question. The problem is when the students, especially when they ask the question, they want to have answer from the audience as well. Oh, even we as a professor never get an answer from the students. How can a student get an answer from the audience? It's impossible. But you pose the question, stay there for a while, let the people think, so their brain will go into that direction. You get their interest basically, and then move on. But if you say, no, somebody tell me who is the, then everybody will like, they say, oh, I should leave this room before I get another question. Solution and research, explain your work clearly and logically. Results, what is the key finding? If you put it in visually, it's much better. If you explain it in words, still the key findings are important. Because in your project report, you may have 10 sets of data. But the whole 10 set of data can be explaining something. So you need to, when you make a presentation, you just choose 1 or 2 that makes the whole story trend or something, rather than putting all 10. Okay, next. Same graphs are coming and coming and coming. Impact and closure. So you have to tell at the end what you have done this thing. Slide designs are okay, we are on this. Slide designs essential. So the design principle is generally minimum text. Okay. Choose the high contrast. Okay. So preferably, I prefer white and the dark color text. Okay. But sometimes the student, they want to make a very purple color background or black color background. It's not really eye-pleasing, and it gives strain to your eyes. And that, because at the end of the day, you don't want to show the people how statically you can make presentation. Your objective is to tell the people about your work. So don't distract them anywhere. Minimum visual hierarchy, for example, title, visual text, all should be in the same slide by slide, not moving here and there. Layout is very important. So make sure you see it. One of the biggest mistake is they use a very small font. Font size should not be less than 24 point. Should not be less than 24. Okay, 24 means if the size of this projector or 4 times the size of it, automatically reference out of this. The space is very important. You need some empty space here and there so that the people can connect that part of the text. But if you put something here, something there, something there, it's very difficult to find where to get the information. Minimum text, so that because our human brain can do one thing at a time. If they start reading your text, they stop listening you. They still can hear you, but they cannot process that information. If you put so less text, then they cannot connect it with the slide. So even if you have slide or no slide, doesn't make any difference. That's why you need to make a balance in between them. If your audience is reading the slide, they're not listening. This is the key, and you should remember this. Okay, storytelling and research. Transform data into stories. It's very important, and one of the way of doing this is infographics. And you can see the infographics are very important. How, for example, after every Hajj, the government sends something like in an infographic form. How many people perform Hajj, how many from the Saudi Arabia, how many from GCC, how many from international places, how many male, how many female, and things like that. They have a very interesting sort of graphs and charts. Highlight key trends and comparisons. Use animation to reveal ideas gradually. I don't personally like the animations, but sometimes you have to use it. Try not to click too much. Just one slide, everything should come here, so that you are free of your like physical activity. If you're doing a group presentation, go next, the other guy is thinking, oh, what I had in the lunch, and this. Please, next, and then you, oh, okay. So try to avoid these number of clicks, reduce them. Once you get the slide, everything should be there. Unless otherwise, like in one of the slides, I show you that this is the criteria, and then you can use the word over here. So I use the animation. Otherwise, there's no need to do. One visual, one message is more than enough. Unless you go and explain your experimental data, then there are always exceptions on these rules. They are not very hard and fast rules. They are thumb rules to follow. Okay. If you're doing and explaining something experimental methodology, even if it is very crowdy, it's okay. Even if it's too much text, too many pictures at one place, it's okay, as long as you're able to explain them, as long as you can connect it with the story. Show the meaning, not just the numbers. Okay, I can give many other examples as well. I ask my students to make presentation. They make a graph, and in this graph is run 1, run 2, run 3, run 4. Who the hell knows what is run 1, man? Who the hell knows what is run 2? So rather than they should write this with the high content of this, second high content of that, the medium content, so that in that graph can specifically you see it and you can understand it without connecting with the rest of the story and information. But if you coded it, the coding language, you use it for your lab work and you produce that coded language in your presentation, this is very complex way of, yeah, some people can understand. As an audience, I cannot understand. So if you work on it a little bit extra, you'll see that your information can be. All right. This body language and voice control, I give in some of the courses, I give this how to do the body language, and it's very important. Okay. So sometimes, because if you are so like this, then the people who are seeing you, they think that you have no energy, and so okay, they also lose their energy of putting efforts to listen to you. Or if you are too like this, what you are doing, they feel very like, they don't feel comfortable and do this. I attended one workshop which is conducted by people who got degrees in drama and media. So this guy, in his whole workshop, one of the presentation, he came on a stage 10 times as a professor, and he used a different energy and voice level to see. So the first one was like, hello, this mic working, and the last one was like, yeah, you all know me, so like to this level. You need to understand this thing. There's some way of respect, okay, and don't standing like this, putting like this, okay, this is not a very good way of presenting. You can use those gesture and way of standing. So eye contact, as I said earlier on, is very important. Don't focus on one part of the room or some people, or keeping your friend and just, or looking at your enemy. Oh, I'll tell you. No, just make everyone feels equal. Everyone feel important. Open gesture. They said that sometimes if you use too much hands, like I usually use in my presentation, it's very distracting for the audience. But it's not. It's in my opinion, it's engaging. But don't try too much. But don't be like this. Like, oh, I have to. Don't use my body and don't use. So relax, and tone and pace is very important. As I said, English is not our first language, and from that, the reference I gave you about these people, they say anybody who is in the second language, they use one frequency high when they talk, especially when they present, which means that if I'm a native English speaker, I would be saying things very slowly when I'm presenting. But since in journal, this has happened with everyone, they go to the second language, if it is French, English, or any other language. They try to speak quicker, faster. So calm down. Just like, because you try to memorize the words, and then to hold all these things together, you just, whatever the brain make a sentence, you say, oh, throw it out before it's going to mix here and there, or maybe some grammatical error. So relax and do this thing. And the last and the most important thing which I learned in last 3 years is a pause. When you give the pause, the audience connect. The audience get irritated. What he wants to say, or he is like, he forget what to say. So the brain is connect with the presenter. Okay, I attended one workshop of this presentation, and this guy, he was very good. This is the first time I saw it like this. So it was a very big hall, and the presentation on 4 screens, the same presentation on 4 different screens, and this and that. And then he suddenly, during this presentation, the slide goes blank. Like when he was discussing something, whole slide was gone, completely blank. And then when he starts talking on something, then some slides come up, then blank. And then he was pausing it. So it's a visual pause and your tone pause as well. So when we see, you can see this thing, if you come a SDP presentation, it's trying to do like this. Till the way they probably swim or something like this, and once they finish after 2-3 minutes of saying everything they know, they just what? Yeah. So relax. This is your time. If some examiner says do it quickly, no. Why do it quickly? You have been given 30 minutes. This is your 30 minutes. It's not just to finish another task and move on. It's your learning. It's feedback is required. Technical feedback is required, and everything. So utilize it. Give some pauses. Not too long, not too short, but some pauses are important. Okay. If you don't take the pause, it means like eating like. So it's very difficult for the audience to process it. All right, so key takeaways from this is strong visuals, strong amplify the ideas, okay? So you try to use the visual thing. You can make some visual through generative AI as well, or you can find out some pictures here and there. Storytelling makes your science relatable. So if you are doing something, particularly plastic waste, renewable energy or something else. I can see people sitting for wireless charging. So how, if I'm doing something on wireless charging, I'm not connected with this. It happens to us before. When I was doing in industry, we give presentations about softwares. So what happened, there was a projector here, because we bring our own projector, we put it on the projector and project it. And then there was a wire which is going to connect with the extension wire. During the presentation, a guy came in with the tea and all these things. He come and he hit the wire, the projector fall down. We don't have any backup, whole presentation, and then we have to schedule it again. The company was very unhappy that the projector is fall down and things like that. So as a wireless charging guy, let's say I try to find out this hook image where somebody drop out the projector or laptop or something, and this is used as a campaign as well in Apple. So in in my computer, if I want to charge, it will go inside it. So in some of the Mac computers, they do a magnetic charging. Okay, I remember in 2006 or 7, it's come first time, and one of the professor was telling everyone, "Oh, you see, now even if I hit this wire, see, he hit the wire, and then because it's magnetically connected, so it just fall down and the laptop stays on the table." What an innovative idea, his words. So you can use the same thing for journal audience to interact. Confidence grows clarity and preparation. Don't just show your results, make your audience feel it. Are you feeling it? My presentation? All right, any question from this part? So we have a quick takeaways to, as I said. All right, now we reach to the last part, and we have a last half an hour to utilize this thing. Branding. Personal branding. Research branding. So you may ask yourself, I'm an undergraduate student, how I can connect with the research? No, everybody can do this thing. You are doing some sort of research as well. You're doing something as well. Build your scholarly identity. It's very important. It will help you to get job. If you're using any 3D softwares in which some model is moving like this, you can make a small video and post it on the LinkedIn. Okay? One of the guy graduated from here, he got the job because he knows SolidWorks. All his credentials one side and just SolidWorks. And at that time when he got the job, he was not expert on SolidWorks, but he can make a small shell and do this thing. So they go for the interview, they say, this is the computer, you have 2 hours, just try to make something, they just hand sketch and can you make this thing? And he was able to do this thing, got the job. And he's still there after 6 or 7 years. So you see, these small skills, and somebody, as I said, if is searching a guy with the mechanical degree and this, and if you have this sort of on your social media and they come across it, they have the many software now, they have AI softwares as well, and there are many other things as in the keywords also, they can find you out. But first you need to build yourself, then they will be able to find it out. Okay, make your research visible or make yourself visible. Make your name memorable so that the people remember your name. I hope you remember my name. Okay, so this part, understand the academic and research branding means. What is branding means? What is a brand? Like we say, oh, branded clothes, branded food, branded equipment. Build a strong, consistent research identity online. This is very important. Digital footprint is very important. Promote your work or effectively on digital tool and storytelling. You should have a digital footprint. It's very important, especially in today's world. If you are in one country, you go to another country, you go to other place, you go to other part of the world. But if it is a digital footprint, everything follows you. Either it is good or bad. So you need to be very carefully project yourself in such a way that who you are, the people should know that who you are. All right, so some facts. Why research branding matters. 70% more collaboration requests for researcher with public profile. So I have a very public profile. Every other day I get some message on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, this, and related to research and something like that. Okay, so if you want to get in touch, if you have any expertise, any skills that people are looking for, they probably go and get you. 2 times more citation on average for active LinkedIn user. What does it mean by active users? It doesn't you log in like 1 year back and then you log in, you post it one thing every week, you interact with the people. Okay, if I put something on the LinkedIn, as I said, after 24 hours, only 3 views. But it's getting up with time. So you need to interact. There's a mass. Once you're in a university, you know like 50, 60 people. They can help you to promote yourself. You promote them, they promote you. 22% more improvement in grant success, visibility because of the presence of social media. What is academic branding? Identity, who you are as a researcher. Of course, we are talking about a researcher, but you can utilize it in a journal. ORCID, your few sentence bio, it should be there. I don't know how many of you have like a few sentence bio. I am like a student of engineering or this and that, something like this. I'm more interested in this area and that area. You should have that bio, and you update it with this. Once you complete your degree, you update it. Once you complete your master's degree, you update it, and so on and so forth. Once you get a job for a while, you update it. Visibility, where people find you. So if you're a researcher, people can find you on ResearchGate, Google Scholar, LinkedIn. Credibility, why your work matters, citation, awards, publication, engagement, how you interact, talk, blogs, media presence. Okay, so if you see something similar of your area and you can say things, you go and their comments. Okay, of course with some, don't go and fight with them. Oh, your results are all fake and false and this. No, you cannot say this thing, but you can interact with the people. So strong branding connects your research with real world impact. Creating a research bio, as I said, it's really, really very important, because if you have that, you have the most important thing. So the formula is very simple. There can be some modification in this formula, but it's generally like this. Who you are, your position and institution. If I write, I am a professor in this university, in this faculty. If you are a student, you can write the final year student, so that people know you are about to graduate. What your research? Core focus, because it's a few line space. You cannot go in detail, I'm this, I'm that, and this. Why it's matter? So in which area you're working? What is that matter? Impact of that? Where you find it? If I want somebody to connect, where I find him? If your Facebook profile is locked, if your everything is locked, how can I reach you, message you? Okay, so you should know that at least open some of them if you don't want to be too much public, at least able to give people to connect you. So the example is here as well. Engineer Abdul Rahman is a master's student at Islamic University of Medina, researching on biodegradable polymers for sustainable packaging. His work bridges the field of material science and environment innovation. So you immediately get a picture of this guy, Abdul Rahman, what he's doing and what he's working, and in terms of academics and research. Okay, creating a consistent digital identity is very important. As I said, ORCID, Google Scholars, ResearchGate, LinkedIn, keep photos, titles, research focus across all platforms. Okay, you need to share this thing. It will automatically build your information. It will keep your information as well. Some of the students, not few, very few students contacted me and they say, oh, I attended a workshop in 2010. Do you have some pictures of it? Because I applied for masters and they are asking me the evidence of this. So if you put by yourself on LinkedIn or somewhere, then you don't need to ask anybody for these sort of evidence. Okay, this is very interesting, and since Dr. Asad is here, so it's more interesting. you need to present yourself as a brand. So once you present yourself as a brand, so what I decided earlier on, I'll take a picture of any one of you and convert it like this picture. We have a prompt. We devised that prompt by ourselves. We are planning to sell that prompt very soon. You can write your own. But you can see this picture is the real picture, and this one is the AI headshot. Okay? So you do not have any, he doesn't own that coat. He doesn't own that thing. But still he is looking like a young professor, energetic, and professional. Which one you prefer? This one or this one? Yeah, the one with background and yeah. Yeah, you are in his class, so you're saying both, so you get some extra numbers, but no extra marks for praising both. Okay, so you can use, there's no excuse anymore now. With the technology we have in our hand, in our mobile, you can do this thing. If you want, just send me your picture and I'll give you back this, because I don't want to give the prompt. Okay, headshot, bio across all platforms. So you see in my LinkedIn, I have this. Make your profile in everywhere, put something depending upon your, so it should have some information. I don't have a time, nobody has time to follow all these things to do. I'll provide you a solution to do this thing as well. Too simple and clean visual theme, fonts, colors, don't be too high, too sketchy. Add institutional affiliation and logo when relevant. Okay. My student make presentations. I ask them, where is university logo? They say, oh, we have to put the university logo as well? Yes, you have to. Like these all things you should know by default. And if you don't know, I'm telling you now, so don't make it again and again. Create a personal research banner for social media. Okay, so you can do this thing. And the consistency, build recognition and trust. In Google, when you search in Google, it's the behind the scene, there are ranking algorithms. Okay, so if you have those more and more information, if somebody saying, oh, is there any biogas expert in Saudi Arabia? I think Dr. Asad's name will appear in like top 5 or something like that. Maybe there are people who are working more in industry or somewhere, but they do not follow this digital path, so they are there, but they are not visible. You see how you make yourself visible. Okay, sharing research is effectively online. So this is one of the example. Post a new research, new results or something on LinkedIn, Twitter, use infographics if possible, visually summarize something, tag co-authors, it's also very important. You can see over here, this is also with Dr. Asad Zadi, so I tagged him as well. Once I tagged him, unless he locked it, it will appear on his followers as well. So the visualization will increase, okay? Share the milestone, and you see some people, especially if you see this KPPM people, I think they have like a department to tell people what to publish and what. Yeah. So everything is like, recently some of my friends are working there and they take the bottle from this table to this table and there is a long post on it that I did this thing. Anyway, without disrespecting them, the point is that you can still produce some footprints, okay? Researcher who post update quarterly grow their audience by 40%, okay? So you can see you can detail of it, and then tagging, and this is all relevant and important. Storytelling of your research, okay? So you need to say why you do this thing, share behind your project, talk about the challenges and learning experiences. So in that text we talk about, it was more important for us to publish because we hardly publish anything in education, and that paper was related to education, not our main area of engineering research. So we want to highlight ourselves that, oh, we are working in this part as well, like quality and education. Talk about challenges and learning experience, celebrate small wins, first paper, poster. If you have a paper, you got 10 citation, yeah, it makes a status that you got like 10 citations from that paper. Use the authentic tone, audience connect with honesty, as we discussed earlier on. Stories humanize your research and inspires others. So they can feel it, they can believe on it. Common mistakes like inconsistency or outdated profile. Okay, sometimes, yeah, we don't care about these profiles as well. You probably promote it from assistant manager to manager and you don't care to update it on LinkedIn or something like that. But for the growth, it's important because maybe somebody else who is searching as from the human resource department, HR department, they're looking positions from manager and higher. But you do not, you still assistant manager in the record. They will exclude you. Okay, so your chances are there, can be low. Overly formal or robotic bios, just put the chat GPT and copy paste over there. That's looking at too many chat GPT texts, I can get a feeling like this is produced by, even if it is humanized, I can get the feeling like if it is genuine or not. Ignore social platform entirely. Okay, posting only after paper acceptance. Okay, sometimes the people go, oh, I submitted in such a good journal, then they reject it. So it's very humiliating, and this, so make sure that you solutions, keep it authentic, active, audience focused. Okay, make sure that what is your audience. Or schedule 15 minutes a month to update your profile. So every 15 minutes, I think it's too low. Maybe 1 hour you can spend in the whole month to update it on all these profiles and see what the other people are doing. Encourage them, like them, celebrate their achievements. Some of your friends may have completed 2 years in some places. Just congratulate them and things like that. Share not just result, but the whole process. Not just say, oh, we got this thing, we got that thing. The whole process of achieving that thing. Okay, so how to build the academic profile? Write sentences we earlier see with the bio formula. Add 3 research keywords that describe your work. Draft one-line tagline. For example, innovative, sustainable materials for cleaner world. Okay, and then just clear, concise, compiling personal brand statement, so people know you, who you are as a person. You can build your academic profile in just like intent, clarity. The number 1 step is intent. What is intent? Niyat. So do you think, oh, it's all rubbish and there's no need to go on social media and this and that. So first you need to convince yourself and intend it. Yeah, I want, and you have clarity what to publish and what not to publish. What part of the information should go in the public domain and what should not go into the public domain. This is the first step. So you know the importance of it, you know the after effect of it, and you know some unknown outcomes that can bring positive change for you and your life and your career. Then know your audience. There are different channels, totally different form of following. Don't speak to everyone, speak to those who need you. Attention grows with inches, so it goes very small and small, not by your real audience, recruiters, these recruiters who can find you, collaborators, clients, and students, other students. So you know your audience, what you are pitching for. And step 3 is platform with simple content and sample content. So you need to see, okay, I do not have so much time, so I'll decide to go on X platform or Y platform or LinkedIn only and try to build on it. Okay, there are some students who are very good in video making. They know how to use Adobe Premiere or any other software. You can ask them, yeah, just I have this video, can you just make it a little bit? And you can, in return, you can give them a piece of pizza or something to make them happy or pay for their work and use it, that video or content. Pick one platform or multiple if you can do it. What to post, you need to make the post in advance and think what to post in like this week, next week. And your win, failures, and journeys. It's not always about success, you do this thing. Sometimes you publish the failure thing as well. We try to do this thing, but we're unable to do that thing. Our group was trying and I was trying, something like this. But this is, and then explain the challenges over there, that why you were unable to do this. I'll give you one case study of my friend who is in USA, and before that, I think nobody was following, and suddenly he got like so many followers and everything online. So he does like this. He intend it, he get it, and do. So as an individual, you probably do not have a time. So in all my presentation and works, I just do not give the thing. I provide you the solution as well. So in the next slide, I'll give you the solution of one of the company. You can contact them and they will do this digital marketing for you. And I have no shares with them, okay? So this is their number. If you want, you can contact them on their LinkedIn or email them and probably say how much they are going to charge for this. You can have a 30 minutes free branding session, how you can do the branding, or there are many things behind the scenes. Something is called SEO, search engine optimization, and there are many other things. The people who understand the algorithms on each of these social software, so you probably can go and ask them if you do not have a time by yourself. All right, any question? So we reached to the end of the part 4, and which is about academic branding. So you need to project yourself as an engineer, as a researcher, to show the people that you are available for doing that set of skills. It's not like you don't know and you are projecting. It's like you know yourself, you know your skill set, you just want to tell the rest of the world. It's like self-marketing, okay? And if you follow all these digital footprints, you will be, without applying to some organization, your information is going to that organization or companies. Online consistency, strength, recognition, sharing your stories, increase collaboration. So sometimes we don't value this collaboration, but collaborations are very important so that we can work with other people who have the same amount of skill set, expertise, or they do not have that skill set. They want you to bring those skill sets. So be no just for your research, but for the message behind the research, the purpose behind the research as well. All right, any question? Yes.
You said for the branding, I think it's quite easier for university students when they have like accessible to a lot of people and like seminars like this. As a graduate, you cut off of the university almost. How can you continue with branding yourself?
No, you basically your once you are in the university, you are just having a brand which nobody is going to buy. Your branding yield will come once you graduate from here. Once you graduate from here, you're still connected to the university through alumni. In mechanical engineering, we have one group in which all the mechanical graduates are there. The graduates who are graduated like 6 years before, they're still there. And time to time, we are in contact with them. So there is an alumni committee in this university, in this faculty, and they have once in a year, they have this kind of a gathering as well. So if you are still physically over here, you can join those gatherings and stay in touch. And if you are not physically over here, then this branding becomes more important, because you connected with the same university. When somebody say, oh, I'm from the faculty of engineering graduate, either you don't know him when you were here, but you connect immediately. Oh, okay. So then you don't need to go his background, who he is, or this and that. You immediately connect with them and share the information, share the expertise. If they need any software information, yeah, you can exchange with this. So once you graduate from here, there are many platforms. Alumni is one of the best way of doing it. Okay. Other than that, there are university pages of LinkedIn, Facebook as well. You can follow the university and the faculty pages and connect with them and so on. So for example, now not recently, like day after Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we have Abbott Visit. So in Abbott Visit, we have some students meeting and some alumni meeting as well. So once we select the alumni, who we selected, you guess? Those who disappear from the radar, or those who are still there on the radar? So those who are still connected to us, to some of us, through digital platform, through LinkedIn, through social media or something, this is very easy to communicate and find them and just ask them, are you available on this time, on that day? If they say yes, we say, please come. And if they are not busy, and they say, okay, sorry. And so this is one of the direct advantage of branding. If you just disappear somewhere, then how somebody, we want to invite some alumni, but we don't know how to contact them. Their number in the system, they change their number. We email them, that email, they don't use it at all because their email was funnyprince@hotmail.com, and now they realize it's a very bad email address. So they don't use it anymore. So this is why it's very important to have your digital footprint, so that if somebody wants to find out, they can reach out to you as well. It's a collaboration which can give you benefits which you cannot even imagine at this point of time. You can work with some industry where your growing potential is so high as engineer, especially in this part of the world. It's very high. But you need to realize that potential and use that potential. And to use that potential, I'm not saying this is everything. This is one of the aspect of it. If you have a very good profile and you don't know anything, then it's useless. But if you know something, then you should have a profile that follows. Present yourself, present your brand. And there are many other companies who are doing it as well, marketing for individuals. Many Instagrammers, many YouTubers, they are doing it as well. If you see any new restaurant in Medina, you find that they use local YouTubers and their pictures on their screen that they are eating, and this and it's become viral and everybody goes there. Yeah, the so-called influencers and this. So for you, who will do it? Yeah, you yourself, man. Initially, once you become a good brand, then yeah, probably you can hire some companies to do it as well. All right. Any other question? No question at all? All right. Thank you very much. Don't forget to scan this. If you want to get a certificate, I'm not sure they will give you or not, but at least you're happy that they give you some food to eat. All right. Thank you very much.